All right, we are in Algebra 1, Lesson 15-2. Today is Friday, April 12th. Please write the date down. It is going to be April 12th, 2019. Okay, so I am going to teach you guys a tool. Today's tool is the Ninja Star. It's how you factor most trinomials. And I forgot to pass out cards. Who can help me pass out the cards real quick? Sergio is closest to me, and I'm lazy. Sure. Sergio, he's helping out. Also, people that have been catching my date. I think Jose caught it one day, and Gunnar caught it the other day. All right, so now I'm caught up on giving out XP. Okay, so factoring in 2 steps. This is a review from yesterday, copy-pasted from yesterday. Whenever I factor any quadratic in Algebra 1, what are those 2 steps? We did step 1 yesterday, and then you need to memorize step 2 as well that we covered yesterday. Gunnar. And Ninja Star. Write it down. First, the greatest common factor, GCF. That was all of yesterday's lesson. That was our warm-up. And then Ninja Star. That will be today and Monday's lesson.
You also multiply streaks.
Oh yeah, I need to update those streaks. I forgot to update them yesterday. I will do that since you guys asked and I forgot to do it. Okay, so Ninja Star is what happens when you need to undo binomial multiplication. And review from Unit 14, this is binomials, bi meaning 2. There are 2 terms here, times 2 terms here. What were our 2 methods with the quiet raised hand? What were our 2 methods when you want to multiply binomials? One starts with an F, one starts with a B. I see one hand. Who else remembers there are 2 methods for multiplying binomials? 2 hands. Only 2 people remember the 2 methods. 3 hands, 4 hands. Josie, go for it. Ooh, not quite. Go for it, Jose.
Foil.
Foil is one, and box is the other, yes. Foil and box. So raise your hand with your favorite method. 1 is foil, 2 is box. Which method do you like the most? Foil 1, box 2. Let me see. I'm going to choose the majority. It's actually pretty even, but I think there's slightly more 1s. Most people like foiling. It is faster, so I can see why you'd like that. Okay, so I'm going to foil this one. Foil means first, 2x times x, quiet raised hand. This is some easy rapid fire XP. Jenny? 2x. This is both to the power, yeah, to the power of 2 because it's 1 plus 1. 2, thank you, Jenny. We're going to get some rapid fire XP here. And then I'm going to do O, F-O, so outer. 2x times negative 5. Andres?
10x.
Negative 10x. Thank you. Thank you, Andres. And I. I stands for inner. 3 times x. Who can do the inners for me? Sergio? 3x. So positive 3x. Thank you, Sergio. And then finally, L. L stands for last. This 3 times negative 5. Monse? Negative 15. All right. Am I done, class?
Nope.
No. Why am I not done? Quiet raised hand and tell me what the final answer is, Andres. I'm not done because.
So, since the middle term.
These middle terms.
10x and 3, you have to combine them, and it becomes negative 8x. I mean negative 7x.
Oh, negative 7x. Okay. And then I just rewrite the rest of them, right?
Mr. Sano, Gunnar helped me a little bit.
Okay. Where is helping? Okay. So that is a review of Unit 14 foiling. You could have done the box method as well. Unfortunately, you can actually use the box method to go backwards. In fact, if I was strictly with Eureka Math, I would be teaching that. It's a little bit difficult, especially once you get to higher and higher things. So like tomorrow's lesson, the box method might fail a few times. I'm just going to teach you the straightforward and easiest way to undo this. Remember, factoring means I'm going backwards. Distributing forwards, factoring backwards. So how do I go backwards? It's the Ninja Star. So when am I going to use a Ninja Star? It's usually whenever I have a trinomial. Someone give me the definition of trinomial with a quiet raised hand. What is a trinomial? Only 4 people know trinomial. 5 people know. Jose.
Isn't it like Three constants.
3.
Oh, terms. I hope.
Yeah, it's 3 terms. Write it down. It's 3 terms. Yeah, thank you, Jose. Thank you, Andres. You don't report yourself. All right, and this is also key. This is the most forgotten thing when to use when the leading coefficient is 1. This has to happen. This, like, let's circle B or star it or do something with B. This has to happen. If the leading coefficient is not 1, then you have to do an advanced ninja star, which is tomorrow's lesson. But for now, it has to be 1. What do I mean by a leading coefficient here? Does anyone want to take a stab? What do I mean by leading coefficient? Well, I know coefficient. What do I mean by leading? Out of these 3 terms, which of those terms, with x squared, bx, and c, which of these 3 terms would be the leading one? Okay, Cohen, talk to me. So x squared is the leading term, so the leading coefficient, therefore, is the, Cohen? It's kind of invisible here. 1, exactly. It's this 1 right here. Go ahead and do an arrow that points right here. This term has to be a 1. Therefore, it's as if it doesn't exist. It has to be 1x squared or just x squared. If you have 3x squared or 4x squared, normal ninja star will not work. That'll be tomorrow's lesson. Which means if I have a number here...
Teacher. There's no school tomorrow. But I hope you're going to report that. He helped me report that.
Sergio.
No, I said it.
Okay. Sergio Andres Gunner. I was really good today. I finally messed up the 3rd time. Yes, we have school on Friday. Okay, so I will be teaching this on Monday. Okay, so if you have a number here, you need... We have school on Monday?
I don't have school.
We have school on Monday, though. Okay, so how to set up Ninja Star. This is the procedure. I've written it out for you. Steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the C is on the top. So I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to look at this number right here. This 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? Because I have a leading coefficient of 2. Let me give you a random other problem. Go ahead and write down this problem right now. Let's do x squared. Notice that the coefficient is 1, so I am allowed to use Ninja Star. And I'm going to do, let's choose 7x and plus 12. This is what I'm going to try to factor using this method. Okay, I need to figure out what is my C term, what is my B term. I need someone to do step 1 for me. The top would be up here, the bottom is down here, the left is here, the right is here. I'm talking about this Ninja Star. Notice how it just looks like an X for now. It will eventually start looking more like a Ninja Star tomorrow.
Teacher.
Monday. More on Monday. Okay, so C on top. Quiet raised hand. What goes on top? Cohen. 12. Everyone write it down. 12 goes on top because this value is the C value. This C value, this 12, they are in the same spot. Therefore, 12 goes on the top. Thank you, Cohen. All right. What number goes on the bottom? Jenny. 7. Yep, write it down. 7. Thank you, Jenny.
Wait, just 7?
Just 7. Yeah. So notice that I don't say the bx term. If I said bx on the bottom, then it would be 7x. Right now, I just care about coefficients. So if you want to do a little curly brace, see how good you can write a curly brace? Practice it. You'll be writing them a lot in higher levels of math, especially in Algebra 2 in 2 years. These are talking about the coefficients.
Wait, this should know.
Yes.
Another teacher, you said in 2 years and like school starts this year. Yeah.
In 2 years, so not next year because you'll be in geometry next year, but the year after that, in 2 years, you're going to be in Algebra 2. So in Algebra 2, in 2 years, you will be in Algebra 2. If you want to be,
That's
it's...
1 year and 3 quarters.
In 2 years, you will be in Algebra 2 unless you choose to not take Algebra 2. It'll just be you'll be in the latter half of Algebra 2. So I don't think this is a teacher error. All right, so now this is the hardest part. Once you set up a Ninja Star, this tool, the hard part is you have to find 2 numbers that multiply to the top and add to the bottom. So what I'm going to do, and I want you to copy this down, what adds, so I'm going to do a plus sign, what adds to 7 and multiplies to 12. And I'm going to wait here for at least 10 seconds. What two numbers, I'm going to write the two answers here and here. What two numbers multiply to 12 and add to 7? If you are...
10 seconds.
Okay, you're getting a little bit too much. I appreciate you trying to find errors, but thank you. So the easiest way to think about this are, what are the factors of 12? What things multiply to 12? What times what is 12? And find those two numbers such that they add to 7 as well. Raise your hand once you find that. Two numbers that multiply 12. Well, 1 and 12 multiply 12, but 1 plus 12 is 13, so that's not 7. What times what is 12 and also add to 7? I see 1, 2, 3 people that have it, 4 people that have it, 4 people that have it. Keep thinking, what are the multiples of 12? Or what are the factors of 12? What times what is 12? I want most of the class to get this. Monse, tell us. 4 and 3. Write it down. 4 and 3. 4 times 3 is 12, so those were the factors of 12. But 4 plus 3 is 7, so those are our answers. Okay, and then this is the last. It's not that tricky, but now I need to write down my answer. My answer will always be x and x. You'll always put an x here and an x here. We know that our answer should be a binomial. We're going backwards. We're going backwards. We should now end with this form like 2x plus 3, x minus 5. We should end right here. So that means I should be x doing something, x doing something. If this is a positive 4, it is a positive 4. If this is a positive 3, it is a positive 3. If maybe one of my answers was a negative, then I would write x minus 3. But they were both positive, so I'm just writing x plus 4, x plus 3. So that was finally step 4, writing in the correct form. We have our answer, box it. That is our final answer. Definitely want to be boxing our answers now that we have a lot of work. All right, let's see how well we can apply this ninja star. Yes, Sergio.
X and x are the x squared.
Yep, yeah, so x times x, that will give us x squared if we were to multiply this back out. So these two things, this x squared plus 7x plus 12, factors to x plus 4 times x plus 3 using this ninja star tool. Eventually by Algebra 2 and maybe by the end of Algebra 1, you'll be so good at these that you can start doing them in your head without using a ninja star. And I also want to go on a slight tangent. A ninja star isn't taught at all schools. If you go to Russia, I know because Anya came from Russia, she said that she never learned the ninja star. She just had this definition where you say find two numbers a and b such that a plus b is equal to this number and b times c is equal to this number. I'm teaching the ninja star as a tool. It's not mathematically correct. It's just a tool to get you the answer. Question? Anya was a foreign exchange student we had from Russia last year or 2 years ago. I think it was last year, right? I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, she was really cool. She taught me a bunch of Russian math. Okay, coming down here to example 1. I need to factor this thing. So I'm going to set up a ninja star. Set up your ninja star.
You need to know, why do they call it a ninja star if it's just an X? Yeah, why do they call it an X?
Do you want to call it the X? I think it's cooler calling it a ninja star. We can call it the X if you want.
I don't care.
Okay, it's my definition. Actually, it's from the elementary school. Whoever taught over there, my Algebra 1 class 2 years ago was like, oh yeah, we learned this, called the ninja star, and I just have used that name forever on. All right, so quiet raised hand. Who can tell me what the top and bottom numbers are for this ninja star? Jessica, go for it.
Wait, both of them?
Yeah, top and bottom.
6 and 5.
Which one goes where?
6 goes on 5.
Yes. So again, I'm looking for numbers that add to 5 and multiplies to 6. I'm just going to write those symbols. You don't need to write these symbols. If you can remember that the top is always multiply, the bottom is always add, then you are good. All right. Now, find two numbers such that they multiply to 6 and add to 5. Again, think of factors of 6. What times what is 6? Ooh, I'm getting some more hands here. I want more hands. I want more hands. Ooh, I got Edder's hand too. I want more hands, more hands. What two things multiply to 6? That's the first question. And also add to 5. Lots of hands. Edder, go for it.
2 and 3.
There it is. 2 and 3. Good job, Edder. I got your card now. Yes. Okay, now who can write this in the final form? Quiet raised hand. Fernando, go for it.
X plus 2 in parentheses and then x plus 3.
Yep. The quantity of x plus 2 times the quantity of x plus 3 and box it. Yeah, Sergio.
Could it be backwards?
It could be backwards. Yeah, you could have written x plus 3, x plus 2. It doesn't matter the order because I can flip around the same thing. It's like the same 2 times 3 is the same thing as 3 times 2. It doesn't matter the order in which you multiply. It's called the multiplicative property of Man, I'm blanking on it. But yeah, you're allowed to switch them. All right. Yeah, thank you. I got Fernando. All right, so example 2. I need to factor this one. Quiet raised hand. Who can set up the ninja star? Go for it, Gunner.
Oh, I was raising my hand for something else.
Oh, is it a question?
Give Jessica or Eder their extra.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, Eder. I'm sorry, Jessica.
Teacher
Yeah, sure.
Did I answer this question?
You want to answer the question too?
I do. Like,
All right, ninja star, go for it.
15 on top and maybe 15 on the 15 on the bottom.
I think there's something wrong there.
I mean, two.
Due to error.
2 on the bottom. Yes, let him catch it. Let him catch. Andres, let him catch it. What should the top really be?
Negative 15.
Negative 15. Yeah, you have to get that sign in front of it.
I'm trying to help me with that.
Okay.
And
Actually, everyone in my group helped me.
yeah, everyone is.
All right. What 2 numbers multiply to negative 15 and add to 2? That means one of them should be negative, one of them should be positive. What 2 numbers multiply to negative 15 and add to 2? Think of all the things that multiply to 15. One of them should be positive, one of them should be negative. I see 2 hands. What 2 numbers multiply to negative 15 and add to 2? Jose.
Negative 3 and 5.
Negative 3 and 5. There it is. And yeah, I could have written 5 and negative 3. It doesn't matter the order again. Yeah, thank you, Jose. And is there someone that can write the final answer now? Cohen.
X plus 5 parentheses and then x minus 3.
There it is. The quantity of x plus 5 times the quantity of x minus 3 is the answer, and we will box that. Thank you, Cohen. All right. Ooh, tricky on the back. Something is wrong. Now we are finally applying step 1 and step 2. Go back to the very top, very top. There are 2 steps when factoring any quadratic. First, factor out the greatest common factor, and then do the ninja star. So now we have to apply yesterday's lesson first, and then today's lesson. So factor out the greatest common factor. Who's got it? What is the greatest common factor, and what does it look like when you factor it out? I see 1 hand. I see 2 hands. I see 3 hands. I see 4 hands. Fernando, go for it. Just 2. So if I factor out the greatest common factor of 2, what is left on the inside, Fernando? Yeah, so when I factor out a 2, I should have 3 things, 1, 2, and 3 on the inside of the parentheses.
Okay, so 1x.
Yep, 1x squared or just x squared.
And minus 10 just x plus 24.
24. There it is. Everyone write it down. We have now just completed step 1, factoring out the greatest common factor. Thank you, Fernando. Okay, well, that 2 is going to stay there. But this guy right here is now going to be turning into 2 binomials times each other. So I know that my final answer, I'm going to write it down here. My final answer will be 2 times something times something. That 2 doesn't go away. It's still there. I'm just going to work on this trinomial. Thank you. It's going to be x something, x something. I can even fill that in. I just need to figure out what numbers go here and here. Ask me questions now. This was the most common error from Algebra 2, was forgetting that this 2 is still there. Many people will say, okay, I factored out a 2, and then they forget about it. Don't forget the 2. It's still there. All right, so I need someone to help me with my ninja star. Andres, help me set it up.
So you do the ninja star.
Okay,
And then on the top it's going to be 24, and then on the bottom negative.
negative 10. All right, good job. Thank you, Andres. Andres set up our ninja star. Write down the ninja star as well. And now I'm asking you the question. What 2 things multiply to 24? So think of what times what is 24. And then once you get that, check if it adds up to negative 10. What's going on here? See if you can figure it out. Oh, I got some hands already. I got 4 hands. I got Jenny, I got Jessica, I got Jose and Andres. What times what is 24, but also adds to negative 10? I want more people to be thinking about this. Try to figure it out if you haven't figured it out already. Yes, Jessica, go for it.
Is it -6 and
It is indeed -6 and -4. -6 times -4, well, a negative times a negative is a positive, so I do get positive 24 on the top, and I just add them. -6 plus -4 is -10. And I write my final answer. I'll do that for you. -6, -4, done. Box it. All right. Yeah, thank you, Jessica.
I'm just helping with that.
Thank you, Andres, for helping her with that. And Jessica, thank you for reporting that he helped you with that. All right, so coming back here, I need to factor this one up. Oh, something is wrong. My leading coefficient is not 1. How am I going to make that leading coefficient 1? What do I have to factor out? I want you guys to think about it. I see 2 people with answers already, 3 people with answers. How am I going to make it so that the leading coefficient is 1? I have to factor something out. Jose?
Multiply everything by -1.
So you're correct in thinking that if all of these are multiplied by -1, it now becomes a positive 1. But the word I'm looking for is factor out. So factor out a -1. So the -1 is on the outside, which is the same thing as dividing everything by -1. Yeah, so if I do that, then on the inside, I'm going to divide each of these by -1. So this divided by -1 is just x squared, which is our goal. Our goal was to get a positive 1 for our leading coefficient, and now we have a positive 1. It's an invisible 1 right there. And then I have to divide each of these by that greatest common factor, or by that thing that I factored out, and I get a -5x and a -14. Perfect. Now I can do a ninja star. A ninja star won't work if this thing is negative out front. And I can show you that if I had time, but today's Friday, so I have to go fast. All right, ninja star, really quickly. Someone help me set it up. Josie. Good, there it is. All right. Thank you, Josie. Josie. All right, I need to find those numbers. What 2 numbers multiply to -14 but add to -5? You should always be thinking of factors of 14 first. What times what is 14? What times what is 14? And then make one of them negative. Eder, go for it.
-7 and 2.
-7 and 2 do multiply to -14, and they do add to -5. Thank you, Eder. And I need one final person. Tell me what the final answer is. All of it factored, Fernando.
-1, parentheses, x -7, and then x plus 2.
There it is. And I'm really glad that you left that -1 in there, because that is the most common error now that we are doing both steps. That -1 is still there. Thank you, Fernando. All right, and my final example before I let you do the homework. And what time do we get out of here? We get out of here, the screenshot is in the way. We get out of here at 8:37, which means we have 6 minutes left, actually 5 minutes left. Let's do this one really quick. Oh no, I have a -3 out front, which means I need to factor out that whatever is out front. Factor out that -3. So I'm gonna come here. -3 is going to have to be factored out. Whatever is right here, that is going to be the thing that gets factored out. This was a -1, so that -1 was factored out. This was a 2, so that 2 was factored out. That's the shortcut. Whatever is in front, factor that thing out. The shortcut won't work tomorrow, but it will work for today. I'm going to factor out a -3. Quiet raise hand. What is left over when I divide each of these terms by -3? I factored out a -3. Cohen.
6x. No, sorry. X squared plus 3x minus 4.
There it is. Thank you, Cohen. Oh, coming back here. All right. I need to ninja star this thing. Tell me what goes on the top and the bottom. Quiet raised hand. Set up the ninja star. Jose.
-4 is on top and 3.
-4 and 3. Thank you, Jose. And this is the harder part. I'll slow down. What 2 numbers multiply to -4 and add to 3? Ooh, that's a little bit hard. Multiply to -4 and add, or yeah, to 3. One person has it already. This one is tricky. Take it nice and slow. Figure out what it is. What 2 things multiply to 4? There's only 2 things. 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. Make one of them negative. What are the answers? Josie. -1 and 4. There it is. Thank you, Andres, for helping. All right, so Josie got the XP. All right, go ahead and solve this problem and box it. Andres helped, and Josie reported it. Our answer should have a -3 still. We should have an x minus 1, and we should have an x plus 4, and we should be boxing it. Give me a fist of 5. How well did you follow this lesson? I see a 4, a 5, a 5, a 4, 4.5, a 5, a 5, a 3. I appreciate the honesty. And a 5. All right, thank you. Go ahead and write your summary now. Maybe write how to do a ninja star. Do a general ninja star where you do B on the top, C on the bottom, something like that. What are the things? When can I use it? When should I be using a ninja star? I should be using it when I have a trinomial. I should be using it when the leading coefficient is 1. What were the 2 steps? Do you remember the 2 steps? Maybe you want to add that in your summary. The 2 steps were first do the greatest common factor and then do the ninja star. Every single time you have a quadratic, you need to first check the greatest common factor. All right, that concludes this lesson.